Hey guys, how y'all doing? I want to go over my setup on my boat, in particular my electronics. I've never been more happy with them. I've made some changes this year, midstream through this season, and I want to show you what I've done. You guys are going to want to watch this video. Starting off right here in the back, I have put 2 active targets out to the side. Okay, so the question is, I still have my transducer down here, my side scan transducer, my 3-in-1, great location for it, right in the center of the boat, right underneath the jack plate. I love that. Why do I need these? It's instantaneous. You know, this is a great transducer for seeing rocks, seeing things on the bottom, seeing brush piles, but when it comes to seeing fish, it's not the best. And especially if you're moving at 5 miles an hour, which we're all idling at 5 miles an hour, this active target, by shooting out to the sides, I can see every fish. I can see a school of shad. I can, you guys know how forward-facing sonar is. You can see the bubbles coming out of a fish with that thing. Now I can do it idling. So you idle into a pocket and you're like, oh, wow, all the shad are at 10 feet. All the shad are at 15 feet. That pile of shad's got 5 bass underneath it. Doesn't mean I'm gonna catch them, but I can now see them. I can be much more efficient. I can run that out to about 90 feet to 100 feet and be very, very effective. So I'm looking 200 feet total, idling into a pocket. It's also nice, I can read one of these transducers up front off one of my electronics. So if I'm fishing to the right, I can be looking out to the left, out deeper while I'm fishing down a bank. Kind of a neat setup. That's the Bass Boat Technologies mount. They've got lots of adjustments in there to get your angles right. With Wetumpka Marine's electronics, they set all that up for me. Did a really great job. Okay, so now if we move over here into the battery box, I changed from an AGM battery to a lithium battery. Optima Batteries came out with a really neat battery. They were slow coming to the game because they wanted to sit back and watch all the issues. These batteries are all NEMA capable. They're all interconnected. One can never go to sleep. They are IP67 rated. What does that mean? These things will operate underneath the water, actually 3 feet underneath the water for 30 minutes. Why would you need that? Well, I still got to start my engine. I still have to have my bilge pumps to get the water out. Or let's say you hit something or you take a wave over. Really important. I've got 3 trolling motor batteries. I've got 2 cranking batteries. I'm fishing 14, 15-hour days. I still have as many volts at the end of the day, and we all know how important that is to get that good, clear picture on those active targets. So really important. Then if you look over there on the other side, I've got Perco switches, cutoff switches, isolated switches to every active target. I've got the 1 main shutoff switch for the whole boat. Then I've got a C-Clear magic switch that operates my electronics at the console. That's all on its own wire. Then I have an active target on a separate wire, so I'm not losing any voltage. I'm not trying to funnel all this electricity to all these depth finders, all these transducers into one little funnel, and there's just so much that an electrical wire can carry. Now I'm running multiple ones, and it really helps the seam to clear everything up. So I really like it. These are on their separate switches. I have to turn them off, turn them on every day when I start the day. One other thing that Wetumpka Marine Electronics did for me is they put a cutoff switch to the battery charger. I got a power pole charge in here. And the way I understand it, like if my boat sits for a month, which it never really does ever sit for a month, I guess the charger can actually go to sleep or something like that. Then you actually got to turn the charger on, turn it back off by crawling up in here. They just put a switch over there. It's real easy to reset that charger if I ever needed to do that. So far, it hasn't been an issue. I haven't set my boat long enough, but with that power pole charge, I will say that's a really phenomenal piece of equipment. That's a whole nother video. I just love the app. I plug it in, I check the volts. I'm able to see every morning if it's charged, all from my phone, which is really cool. Okay, so moving up forward, I added a depth finder. I've got 2 12s, I've put a 10. Why did I do that? This 12 looks to the left, this 12 looks to the right off that active target. Then this here is going to be my mapping and just tell me how deep it is. I just wanted the extra screens, the extra space. I was able to do it. I used I believe this is a balls out mount right here that we mounted. Yeah, that's what that is. Those are really solid mounts. You could literally tie your boat off to it. Put a 10-inch screen right here, an HDS 10. It works perfect. I love the setup that they did here just because I can look left, look right, got full screens. I'm not having to split a screen, do any of that stuff. Then this 10's just dedicated to my mapping, my trails, my waypoints, all that kind of stuff. You can actually run both left and right active targets on your Lowrance right here. It's really kind of a neat feature. I'll show you that in another video, kind of a Lowrance video, but it's kind of cool. You can do it with one. It'll actually look left and right. A couple different ways you can set it up, but we'll save that for another video. So when you move up here to my rod box, we mounted the active targets right here. And I went ahead and I had them mount an extra one. Just if I ever had an issue, any problems at all, if I didn't like my transducer, if I hit it, knocked it off, I don't have to take something out, redo it all. I've got an extra transducer right there zip tied to the front of my boat. I can actually, takes me 5 minutes to run that down there, and I've got another one. So I just wanted a backup to it. So, and it's on its own Perco switch right here. I can cut it off, cut it on. You know, if I ever need to use it, I just turn it on right there. Works really, really well. So when we get up here to the front, I've got 2 10s and 1 16. So I dedicate this 16 to my active target, my forward-facing active target. I'm out there, I'm swiping back and forth, looking, everything right here with this 16. These 10s, how do I use these? I've got this 10 set up to one of the active targets in the back. So if I'm wanting to see what's out offshore, if I'm fishing down a bank, it's looking out the back, off the back. I also use these 10s for my side imaging. I can put one to the left, one to the right, off my 3-in-1 nose cone transducer up here. Obviously, I've got mapping and 2D and down scan, all those things also on these 10s. It works really, really well, but I like the 16, just a bigger screen to be able to see my baits when I'm out there fishing. Here's that extra transducer I was talking about right here. Hasn't given me an issue, it's been there all season. You can see here how with Optima Marine, they encased all my cables just to protect them, to keep them from ever getting pinched, to keep any problems, anything like that. I love that because I can now still move my trolling motor up and down in shallow water. I'm here at a tidal fishery and I need to move that up. I can do it really simple. When you get down here to my transducers, you can see everything's color coordinated. So this green here I know goes back to the green active target box there. This orange or red, it goes back to the other one. So I always know where everything goes. You can see here my power cables, my Ethernet cables, everything is color coordinated. Yellows, everything's color coordinated in there. This is my scout mode right here. I am really, really starting to like that. That's really opened the door to shallow water fishing for me. It's just really neat to see things out in front of my boat, stumps. You know, this is for less than, I want to say really 5-6 feet of water. That's where this thing shines, 1 to 5-6 feet of water. Just seeing stumps, objects, targets, fish out in front of you. You'll notice right here I put a brand new prop on. It is important, in my opinion, to get the most efficiency out of these to have a new prop. Like just, you know, if I was to show you my old prop, you know, just when it gets looking like this, you know, this one's really bad because the ear's busted off, but when you get all these ragged edges and it's folded over right there, it's vibrating. It's not smooth going through the water, so thus my pictures aren't going to be as clear and as smooth as I want them to be. You know, I put a little TH Marine quick nut right there on this, and it's just able to take that prop on and off. You know, one thing else I got to mention right here is this Bass Boat Technologies mount. This thing is unbelievably stout. Like Van, the guy that built these and is behind the brains of all this, is really, really good. All right, guys, so that's my setup. You know, I do this for a living, so I've got to have the best of the best, the baddest of the baddest. Whatever you do for a living, you know, I hope you have, you know, the best tool to go perform your job. I feel like I have that with the Lowrance electronics, the Optima batteries, you know, the whole package. I love my package. I really love the setup. Big thank you to Wetumpka. I'm really loving how it's all turning out. Pretty exciting to have the best of the best on this thing to go do my job.